Okay, hello. I think that I am live. My software is telling me that I am live. This is really just a bit of an experiment for me. I've been toying with the idea of doing some live streaming for a little while. And then, just thought I would give it a go. If things work out well, this might be something that I do on a fairly regular basis. Both of my kids, I'm pretty sure, are still awake. Hi, Lynette. Nice to see you. Both of my kids are still awake, so there's every chance that they might come in and say hello at some point. We'll just see how it all goes. So I will switch over to this one here. And I'm going to work on a traveler's notebook layout tonight. So it's going to be nice and quick because I am just running off my camera battery at the moment and I really don't know how long that's going to last. Lynette, can you hear me? I'm using an external microphone and I just don't know how well it's working. So I'm going to carry on as though you can hear me. So I've got this traveler's notebook layout that I'm going to work on. Hi, Jodes. And I did some stamping. I used a Felicity Jane layered floral stamp. I had this photo which was taken. Okay, that's really good. Thanks, Lynette. I had this photo which I took of myself for my birthday celebrations in January, and it's got these really pretty purple and tealy blue coloured flowers in it. So I used this layered rose stamp from Felicity Jane to make some florals that I'm going to add around the little layout. I have done a little bit of stitching off the camera just to try and save a bit of time, and I've also printed off my journaling. I've got lots of stamps, so one of the things that I'm loving about making some traveler's notebooks layouts is that it's really giving me an opportunity to use my stamps, which I've got so many and I just don't use them. It's terrible. Anyway, so let's get stuck in. So my photo's going to go on this side. My journaling is going to go on this side. I did toy with the idea of bringing in... Thanks, Leisha. Thank you. It's a bit hard. I'm in Western Australia, so the timing is always a little bit hard to manage. But if things go well, I'll try and do some streaming at night time, my time, and also morning, my time, when my husband's home from work. Yeah, so I was toying with the idea of bringing in a little bit of pink, but I'm not sure that that's going to maybe overwhelm it with too much colour. So I went digging through my stash of little textural things, and I've got this purple tissue paper and also this which came, my mother-in-law bought me a scarf and it came wrapped in this. It's not quite tissue paper, but I thought the colours went really, really well because there's some teal and there's some purple. So I might just go ahead and put that behind my photo. Is anyone else crazy like me and likes to keep all the pretty packaging? Hi, Jenny. Thanks for joining. Right, let's find a piece that's going to work well. So I want to make sure that I've got a bit that's got some purple and some teal in it. So I'm just going to hack into this here. And yeah, it's got flamingos on it, but by the time it's layered behind my photo, I don't think you're going to see that at all. There we go. Yeah, I think that'll work really well. And my tape runner. I held out on getting an ATG for so many years and I really don't know why I waited so long. I thought it was going to be too big and too bulky, and it's not at all. It's not at all. It's fantastic. And I don't even have a problem with replacing the tape, which is really good. All right. I think that looks pretty good. I just wanted to have something. I do most of my traveler's notebook spreads. I know I haven't really shared a lot of them yet because I'm still kind of finding my feet a little bit. Most of them are on white backgrounds, just nice and clean, and that helps me to stamp on them too. But then the problem is that I need to make sure that my journaling and hi Melinda, I need to make sure that my journaling and my photos stand out from the back of the page. So there we go. Yeah, the ATG gun is great. And yes, Lynette, I have so much stuff as well. My craft room is overflowing. I've got a tub full of stuff in the garage, and I think I'm going to have another couple of tubs added pretty soon. The ATG isn't heavy. It's really, really light. So yeah, I like it. I do like it. All right, so on the top of that, I'm going to add some stamps. I went through and I just pulled out a whole bunch of different stamps that I want to use. So I know that I want to add that one down the bottom there. This is from, where's this one from? I think this is from Elle's Studio. And I've just got a stamp that says, feeling so grateful. And then I have this one, which I think is also Elle's Studio, but really quite old. And that one says highlight, so that's going to go up the top there. Then I've got, cardstock. I use Nina cardstock. So I've got different weights. I've got cardstock and I've got cover stock. And I use different weights of the Nina for different things. So this one I think is just the 80-pound cardstock. So it is quite thin. But then I've also got an 80-pound cover stock and a 110-pound cover stock, which are really quite thick and sturdy. And I use those if I'm printing off journaling cards for my project life, or if I'm printing off things that I'm going to use as embellishments. So that's my stamps there. This weekend stamp, I think this is Mambi. I got a couple of sets of planner stamps on clearance from a scrapbooking store. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to stamp that one straight onto that little journal card down the bottom, because then I can finish that one off. And I'm just going to stamp it in black, I think. I thought about Nina. It's N-E-E. N-A-H, it's spelled. Nina cardstock. It's not cheap, but I've tried so many different cardstocks and I am so fussy about it that it's the only thing that I really like, and so I don't mind spending a little bit more money to get something that I know that I'm happy with. So just thought I'd do a quick test stamp of that, and then hopefully my head's not coming in over the top there. There we go. So I actually think I'm going to turn this into a tag. And the one thing I forgot to get ready was my chamois. So I'm going to have to clean my cards off, clean my stamps off when I'm done. So I think I'm going to turn that into a tag. I made myself a little template, just the end of it. I made it with really thin cardstock because I wasn't sure how it was going to work. So I actually think I'm going to have to go and make it out of a piece of chipboard now. I buy my cardstock. Now I buy it from Amazon because I find I can get it. I can get a whole ream of Amazon. Whereas when I've bought it from places like Craft Online or even like the local scrapbooking store, they don't sell full reams. They only sell like 50 sheets or 100 sheets. And for me, I just think it's much better value to buy the full ream. Okay. Now what I think I will do is I'm going to run a little bit of stitching around this, but I've got this, this is like, what's it called? A Gutermann thread. It's a sulky, but it's actually a variegated thread. So it's got varying colors of pink. It's really subtle and you can't really see it unless it's on like a full size 12 by 12 photo or something like that. So I'm just going to run this through. The Nina cardstock, it's really good. It prints really well, but also it's really good for stamping, and it takes Copic markers really well too. Not that I do a whole lot of Copic alcohol sort of marker stuff, but I've actually got 1 or 2 alphabet stamp sets that have coordinating dies, and I like to stamp the alphas and then colour them in using the Copics just for something a little bit different. So I am going to mute this while I quickly run some thread around, because I don't think you need to hear the whir of the sewing machine. All right. I knew that this was going to be one of the drawbacks to going live, is because I do like to put stitching on so many of my projects, and I can't always do everything in advance. So there are going to be times where I have to get the sewing machine out, and I'm just going to have to put it onto mute. I used to, if you've watched any of my older videos, I used to pull all of my threads through to the back whenever I did stitching, but I realized that it was just adding time to my process that I really didn't need to do. So now I just do a little bit of back stitching all the time and then just leave it like that. So I think I will add a little topper, and I am going to use this pink cardstock that I pulled out. This was just from, I'm sure everybody's the same as me. We've got these huge collections of 6x6 paper pads. So I just went through and found something. I'm just going to use this one. This is a little, I just love the shape of this for tags. It's really different. I'm kicking myself. Felicity Jane had a tag builder die set years ago when I was still a subscriber, and I didn't get it because I thought, oh no, I've got so many different tag dies, I don't need another one. But it had the perfect little topper piece, and I really wish that I got it now. But this is from a Tim Holtz tag set, which I don't think I've even used yet. I've only just used it to cut this topper piece out, but I just like the shape, and it's something different. And there we go. And then I've got an extra one. I love my little sidekick. I did just take advantage of a sale at Spotlight to buy a silhouette, not silhouette, a Sizzix switch machine, which was quite an extravagant purchase. It's huge, it takes up so much space, but I really like it. I was cutting out a title the other day, and it was so good to be able to just cut all of the letters from the title in one go. I'm just looking for my little ruler, which seems to have disappeared on me, so I'll have to get one out of here. I just want to make sure that I've got this kind of in the middle. So I think this tag's about 3 inches. So I'm just gonna put a little line there. And then use a little bit of wet glue. So I don't know whereabouts in the world everyone is. I know Lynette is in Australia on the East Coast, so it's about 10 o'clock at night there, but where is everyone else tuning in from? And what's it like where you are? Okay. Probably could have put my journaling a little bit further down, but there we go. And get out my punch. And this is another new purchase for me. I had heaps and heaps of just the single hole punches, and I just got really tired of having too many punches around in Brisbane. Okay, so it's about 10 o'clock. It's not too bad for a Saturday night. So I bought myself one of those We Are Memory Keepers multiple sized punches. Now I have an idea of what I'm going to do with this, and it's going to need a lot of twine. So I've done it for another little, okay. Oh, it looks like maybe we're all Australians here. Makes sense. I'm not sure what time it is. I think I'm about 12 hours behind the west coast of the US. I'm not sure, and I'm 8 hours ahead of the UK. I'm pretty sure. So I've done this on another layer. I just had the tag so that it looks like it's kind of hanging from the top. So I'm going to do that again there. Now I actually think with these titles, I think I might stamp the highlights straight onto the background, but then the weekend part I think I'm going to do onto a piece of just plain cardstock, just so it adds like another layer there. So get out a block. I don't think I've ever used this stamp. Yeah, I've been staying up late scrapbooking. I don't always do it because my kids are pretty young and they don't sleep in just because it's the weekend, and my husband's not always here. But yeah, lately I felt a little bit more creative, so I have been staying up a bit later scrapbooking. It's nice. I've been getting quite a bit done. I start a full-time teaching prac in a little over a week, and yeah, so that's going to eat up a lot of my time, so I'm just making the most of it now while I can. I don't know if it's the stamp, maybe it's just the way it is, but whenever I'm putting the ink on it, it's separating, so I actually think that that's probably the best that I'm going to get for that. So I'm just going to go and cut that out. If I can find my paper trimmer. And I've thought about using some different coloured, some coloured inks on this one, but I think by the time I put the florals in, it's just going to be a lot of colour. So I'll stick to black and white for the stamping here. And I'm not sticking anything else down yet because I just want to see where I'm going to put all of the florals, but it's going to be pretty simple because that's really all it's going to be. Those florals are going to take the lead on this. Okay, so I think my photo will sit there, and that looks like a pretty good spot for that. So get another block. And I'll probably do a test stamp of this because it's going onto the background. Just want to make sure that it's going to stamp nicely because I haven't used it. That's the problem. I don't even want to guess how many stamp sets I've got, and I've just never used them. It's a bit splotchy, but that could just be because that's printer paper. It's not really good quality paper, so let's just give it a go. I could use my stamp platform, but sometimes I find that a bit more tricky to use. So I'm actually going to be in a kindy classroom as well, Lynette. I'm doing an early childhood teaching degree. It's a little bit, the early childhood degree is a little bit different in WA to what it is over East, because my degree actually qualifies me to teach up to technically year 3, but realistically year 2. That's pretty good. Whereas I think over East, an early childhood degree only qualifies you up to preschool, maybe. So my prac is going to be in a kindy classroom, which is fun, but I don't actually think I want to teach kindy. I would prefer to be in junior primary, like year 1 or year 2, because I'm really passionate about literacy and kids with learning difficulties and learning disabilities. So I think I can have the most impact in junior primary, as much as I love the little kids. How long has your daughter been teaching for, Lynette? Is she loving it, or is she finding it as difficult as most teachers around the country seem to be finding it at the moment? It's not the job that I thought it was going to be. I got these little, I just went through my stash to see what other bits and pieces I could find, and I got these little photo corners. I thought it might be fun to put a photo corner on. I think I will do that. I don't use them very often, but I've got quite a few of them. I'm going to stick. Yeah, I'm going to do it. That's one. They're pretty subtle, but I think it just adds a nice little touch. Just got to get it in the right spot so it's straight. Oh wow! So year 5, 6 to kindy, that's quite a big difference. I find, although I think kindy for you is pre-primary for us, because we have our kids start in kindy when they're 3 and 4 years old, turning 4 and 5, and that's non-compulsory schooling that they go to part-time. And then pre-primary is when they start full-time school, but I think it's the other way around over on the East Coast. So, but anyway, yeah, that's a big jump to go from year 5, 6. How is she finding it? For me, it would be a struggle. You go from sort of being able to have these really in-depth, interesting conversations with kids and just finding out these incredible ways that their brains work, to really just helping them transition from home to school. That's a really, really big leap. Here in WA we don't do, they used to do, oh, that's just gone everywhere. They used to do a teaching degree which went from kindy, so like the youngest kids up to year 7, but they stopped doing that now, and you either get qualified as early childhood or as primary or as high school. So because I think they recognise that there's a huge difference in knowledge base for kindy versus the upper schools. Yeah, it is beautiful. It is really beautiful, because I think in the younger years is where you do see so much change happening in them, especially that first year of school. Okay, that worked out pretty well. That first year of school, they're going from just purely oral language to then starting to read, starting to write, starting to develop their maths. You see such a huge leap when they're younger. So this was another. Oh, this is a scrapbook.com stamp set. I've got lots of these just little simple sentiment stamp sets. And I use them a lot in my project life. And I'm also using them here in my traveler's notebooks. So I think that's going to go down here. Now, yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. What I'll probably do later, not now, but once I'm finished this live stream, is I'll probably add some stitching to this little weekend highlight piece just across the middle, just to add a little bit of something extra. Now I'm going to regret sticking that down, aren't I? Because then it's going to inhibit me putting those florals on. All right. Where am I going to put these? They are actually pretty big, but I want to get some of them on. So I'm probably going to put some over here. I couldn't quite match the purple to the flowers in the photo because it's a real, it starts with a white, and obviously I can't stamp white, so the purple flowers is just the closest I could get, but these teal ones, they turned out absolutely perfectly. So I think that's just going to have to be peeking out from the bottom there. And then maybe have that one peeking out the side a little bit. And it's going to be okay if it overhangs because it is going into the traveler's notebook. So it's okay if it overhangs a little bit. And then I did some extra little leaves so that I could tuck those in. So that will probably do. And then maybe another blue one up here. If I can get that in, I might have to trim that down, I think. How's it looking? It's actually quite handy having the stream up there because I can actually see how it looks from a different vantage point, which I can't usually do when I'm filming. And you know, sometimes it's good to just take a step back and have an overall look. So I think that might work there. And then on this side, I can afford to put a few more flowers in because I've got a bit more space down here. So this is probably going to be where the bulk of them go. I'll put that there and that there. Maybe another little leaf popping out of there. I think that looks pretty good. Right, I'm just going to stick some adhesive underneath these. I'm not using any, normally if this was a scrapbook layout, I would be adding in some dimensional adhesive to the outside of these florals. But because it's going in my traveler's notebook, and I'll show you that traveler's notebook in just a second, it's, yeah, I don't want it to be that chunky. Okay, that didn't stick. I think I need to refill my glue. Well, it's good. My kids have stayed in bed, so that's good. I was expecting knocks at the door. It's school holidays at the moment, so they're not really getting as tired at home as they do at school, unfortunately. I thought about putting this little paper clip in somewhere, but I don't think I will. I don't think that will fit anywhere really. Okay, I'm gonna glue these flowers down. Take the pin off first. And I just glue them where they are, then I should be able to stick back into place. There we go. Stick this piece back down again. What I might do with that piece is just add a little bit of dimension to it. This is just a really, like, it's pretty thin. I think it came with, I subscribe to the Hip Kit Club at the moment, and when you order their cardstock kits, they come with, I think this is what this is from. It's from one of the, just some board to add some stability to it while it's shipping. So it's not a huge amount of dimension, it's just enough to lift it up a little bit because it doesn't have anything behind it and it is white on white. Lifting it up will give it just a tiny bit of a shadow, which should hopefully help it to stand out against the background. And do I want to add this down here? Don't even know if I want to use that now. Maybe I'll put it up there. I think that's better up there. So I'm finding that this is how most of my traveler's notebook spreads are working. I'm sort of obviously it lends itself to a really vertical design, but that is pretty much how they're all coming out at the moment. So I'm going to put this one in here. I think so. Tuck that one in. And I'll use up this other blue one, I think. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. I think I'll just leave it like that. I like it with the extra purple. Okay. So all that's left pretty much now, I'm going to string that over the top. Get out my little tiny attacher. This isn't a tiny attacher. This is one of the, I bought this one because it's pink. I don't think you can buy it anymore. This was a We Are Memory Keepers one. And it comes with different coloured staples as well, but it doesn't fit the tiny attacher staples, and I really don't think that you can buy replacements for these anymore. So when it runs out, it's probably just a really nice paperweight then. There we go. And then I think I'll just finish off with some little Nuvo drops. I pulled out this, it's a jewel drop, so it's translucent and it's a soft purple colour, and I thought that would be just nice to dot those in a few different spots. I'll put one there. I do love my Nuvo drops. I don't know how many I've got now, but I do know that when I want to buy more, I have to go and check my stash to make sure that I don't already have whatever colour it is that I'm looking at buying. But I've pretty much got all the colours of the rainbow, even green, which I'm not a big fan of green. And just gonna dot them in and fill them up. And there, and maybe another little one. There. That's it. Really quick. What's that? Half an hour. Yay. So it worked. That's really good. I did promise I'll just quickly grab. This is a little sneaky peek, I suppose. This is my first traveler's notebook. I've made 4 little notebooks for each year going back to, oh, that's good to know, Leisha. I will have a look at Officeworks next time I'm there because I'm always there. I was just there today. Yes, I've made 4 notebooks. I put 8 sheets in, so I think it gives me about 9 layouts. I went really gung-ho with printing off photos for this, so most of this is just January from this year, but it is almost full already. I think I've got, what's that, 1, 2, 3 little spreads left to do. So I'm going to do those and then I will film a little flip through of that. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. Yeah, I will do more live streams. My husband works away from home for 2 weeks out of every 3. So on the weekends that he's not here, it would be nice to do some live streams and just occupy my weekend evenings a little bit more than just, yeah, sitting down watching a movie. So yeah, thank you very much, ladies. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evenings, whatever it is that you're getting up to. Bye for now.